So what's going on? Welcome to Judoka Talk, or Judoka Talk. So today we're going to try and keep it short since a lot of us have schoolwork. And so on that theme, we're going to be talking about how we balance training judo with, doing schoolwork or jobs. So with us today, we got Geronimo and Kyle. Hopefully LA will be joining us in a bit. Unfortunately, Shadi and Mohab couldn't make it today because some things came up just recently. But anyway, so Kyle, you're quite busy right now with school. So what kind of school? What are you doing for school, and how's that affecting life right now?
Yeah, so right now I'm working on my doctorate degree in physical therapy. It's my second semester now. Let's see, halfway through it, so we have midterm exams coming up. That's like for all four classes. It's everything that we learned in the last 6 weeks, which is just like a huge amount of information. Then I have to go to LA for practicals, so that's also piling up a little bit.
LA being Los
Um,
Angeles.
yeah, yeah. Um, so basically, the way I plan out my day just it really like depends on what class I have and obviously in the day. So on the days where I have 2 hour classes, I usually work out early in the morning, um, then do preliminary schoolwork and then head to class. And after class, I'll just study for the rest of the day until I have to leave judo practice at night. When in the weekends, I usually take Saturdays off just to keep my mental health somewhat sane. And on Sundays, it's that just back to work all day long.
Yeah. What were university? And so you did 4 years undergraduate, and was that a similar sort of? Because now your graduate degree is sort of a half online situation, and with the school being in California. But where do you go for? You went to undergraduate near where you live, though.
Yeah, so I went to undergrad here in San Antonio, at a local university. It's not super big, but it still has a pretty good rep in certain fields. So I actually went to community college for the first 2 years, which saved me a lot of money. Um, and then I transferred to the bigger university and spent 2.5 years there. Uh, got my bachelor's, and now I'm doing the half online, half in person thing at the University of Southern California.
And Geronimo, what about you? How's your education life going?
Well, since I'm like one of the youngest of the group, aside from Liam, I am still working on my bachelor's degree, and I have a little more time now that the classes are blended. It's so nice. I only go to class Wednesday, Thursday. So I have online class, and I don't have to join a Zoom meeting or anything. So the professor just puts assignments for the whole week. Pretty much I can do them on Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday we go over the lecture for the next week. That way we can do the assignment Monday, Tuesday, and that's how it is for every class. So what I try to do is get every single assignment done between Monday and Wednesday, and I don't have to wake up early. I try to wake up early just so I can start my day and actually have more time to do stuff. But I try to get everything done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have certain classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, other classes Tuesday, Thursday. So I try to keep it divided in that way. That way on Monday I work on those classes, and then Tuesday I work on those classes, just as if I had those classes. The blended type of courses allow me to go to like exercise and just do what I need to do for judo a little bit easier than my than like the regular schedule that I would have. So in a way, I like the schedule a little more than the regular going to class schedule. The other reason is because I go to community college, and there's like 5 different campuses, and 2 Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes would be at the one near my house, and then Tuesday, Thursday would be a little further, still close, but it's further, and it's just more of a drive, just more inconvenient. So it's easy for me to balance everything since now.
Things are blended now, but when things eventually come back to normal,
Oh,
we hope things come back to normal. I mean, maybe this is how life is going to be for the rest of time, but
honestly, I would much rather keep the blended courses.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm feeling.
it's so much easier on this. I think I don't know, for me it's easier just because I still get that lecture and I still have the chance to do my own stuff. So I don't feel crammed and stressed all the time. And we're still able to go through or as far as I'm concerned, it still seems like we're still able to go through the same material had it been normal class. I feel way more productive this semester than I had any other semester.
And you're staying at home during your college.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to save as much money as I can. Just if I need to pay for any like graduate degree, I have enough where I can get a little into debt. But I'm gonna try to get out of my bachelor's without any debt.
Yeah. Are you going to stay in community college for the full 4 years?
No, because they don't have the program, so I don't know
What
how to.
program are you trying to do?
I'm doing analytical finance, but
So you want to make money in life.
I'm gonna try. So community college, or the community college that I go to, only offers 2 or 3 degrees, which is like the basic business degree, nursing, and then they offer IT or some computer security, some degree like that. And then if you don't, but my college has partnerships with, I think, almost every school in Texas. So every single class I take there transfers directly to the college. So all I have to do is just do 3 years at community college, 3 years at community college, transfer to whatever college I want to go to, and then take a year to 2 years in that college and just out.
Are you going to try and stay around home for that?
Yeah, same thing. I want to stay around my house for that.
Because then it makes it a lot easier to train, I imagine.
It does, and I don't have to pay for housing.
Yeah, that's really important.
Which that allows me to pay for more judo trips.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle is with me on that. Just it's easier to not pay for housing. Yeah, living with your parents can, it's different than living alone, I imagine. But but it doesn't living alone wouldn't allow me to do judo and travel and everything like that, because then I have to pay bills and whatnot,
So same for you, Kyle. You stayed at home for undergraduate?
Yeah, it's just my family and I are very close, so and I train with my siblings for most of the time, so moving
That must be pretty
somewhere.
nice though, because then you're able to sort of have your training partners be close to you. And
Yeah, but then, like, you have those sibling issues, and
it's hard.
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I never had to train with my brother.
Man, the thing is, if you have friction at home that week,
It automatically transfers.
You're gonna feel it as they grab onto your gi.
Oh yeah.
Or in randori, like the sweeps are gonna be a little more like kicks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my brother did karate, so I never had to really train with him. I imagine if I was training karate with him, that would probably be a lot worse than training judo with Buffer. Just straight up get knocked out. But yeah, for my education, so when I still did my high school in England, which is where I currently am, and in the education system here, I don't know where most of the viewers are. I haven't looked at the analytics, but at least in England, you have most of the exams actually matter. They're all at the end of the year. So like a lot of the time growing up, I'd do a lot of competitions going abroad, and I'd be really doing pretty badly in school until like a couple months before exams happen, and then I would just like switch on and start, and my grades just go shoot right up. And then like during exam season, which would be like a month-long period of doing exams, I would be doing no judo at all. So I never learned this sort of concept of balance between training. It was mostly, I'd focus mostly on one thing, and the other thing would sort of just, it'd keep happening, but it would fall off to the side sometimes. And so when I went to university, I went to University of Chicago. So I switched to the American system. And University of Chicago is known for suffering, I'd say. I think the slogan is where fun comes to die. And I'd say that's true. So there it's just not so much competitive, but you're kind of it's strongly implied that you need to work at every waking moment, and if you aren't working, then you're falling behind. And I did maths there, so it was definitely one of the harder majors you could do at a university. So it was definitely a struggle to actually do any training. And I was on the wrestling team, and that was I found extremely hard to be able to like try and survive the academics while trying to wrestle, because when your sleep's not right, I found that really affected my training. Like if I had to pull an all-nighter, my training was out the window for that week. I don't know how, like, do you guys ever have to pull all-nighters for your stuff?
Well, actually, I never had to pull an all-nighter, but it was a lot of work to like figure out how to balance judo and going to school, because I went to an in-person undergrad as well.
Yeah,
So
living on campus was just kind of tough for me, because also moving to Chicago, like I didn't really know the dojos there. So for my first year, I went to I went to the Cohen brothers, because I did the junior worlds my freshman year and then my junior year, which is in October. So it's sort of the first quarter. And so for the first junior worlds, I trained at Cohen's, but I was like an hour and a half drive. And so my dad did move to Chicago for a bit, and so he could drive me up there, but I was just like, it was really far away. And so that sort of affected training, my academics, obviously. When it's an hour, you're taking 3 hours out of the day to go train, plus the extra hour of actually training. And in third year, I trained at Brett Wolf's club, Menominee, which was a lot closer, and I was able to train a lot more since it was only about 20-minute drive. But when I was training for my junior worlds in 2017, you went there too as well, right, Kyle?
yeah,
So that was the year where I was like, ranked second in the world for under 21. So I was like, I need to do well at this junior world. So I actually just told my teachers at the start of the quarter, like, yeah, look, I'm training for this competition, so I'm not going to do much work at all, and I'll see you in fifth week.
they probably did not appreciate that, did they?
They actually appreciated that I came to them, and I was like, look, I have this junior world championships. I'm ranked second in the world. I need to do well. Can you cut me some slack or work around. And like a couple teachers were definitely like very like understanding. They're like, yeah, do what you want. And so, yeah, and then I showed up to classes like after like, I still went to class when I could, but then I just like started working. So I had to like bring my grades up from like straight fails up to B's. That was pretty tough.
I think it's important for everybody to find their sweet spot of work, or whether it's work, school, or whatever it is you do in your training, and as well as just whatever it is you train for, whether it's Olympic lifting, judo, karate, chess, yeah, whatever. I think it's important to find that balance, because you can't dedicate 100% of your time on that,
Yeah.
especially since we don't. I mean, I don't know if you guys have like a life coach or whatever, but
Do
you
you?
know, we don't have a we don't have someone telling you, hey, get your grades up, hey, go to practice, hey, do this, do that. So you just have to find that sweet spot where you're able to do everything and be good at everything.
Yeah, no, I struggled a lot during college. Just
My first 2 semesters of college were rough.
my entire 4 years were rough. it was tough because trying to wrestle as well as academics, and then so like when I didn't have any kind of competitions, I wouldn't do any judo really during my time there,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that did affect my transition into senior level a lot, because a lot of the transition comes from that 18 to 21-year-old, like that age bracket. So if you're able to train and do a lot of competitions during that period, your transition is going to be a lot better. And I think a lot of the best people who are young and doing well at a senior level were doing a lot of senior European Cups from age of like 18 to 21, so that when they started stepping onto the Grand Prix stage, they're like already accustomed to that level to some extent. Like they're accustomed to the strength and all that, and just competing regularly. So for me, I wasn't able to get that many competitions during university period, because it was like not, there's no way I'm going to be traveling from Chicago to Europe during school period when I have homework that takes 20 hours to do each week.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys deal with that, trying to travel during term periods? Because I mean,
So during undergrad, so community college, actually the first 2 years, they weren't that bad because my teachers worked with me. Kind of similar to what you did, except for I still had to like go to class every day and do all
oh,
my work.
I still had to go to class. I just told
Yeah.
them like I'm not going to be like present mentally at all. Like I am very like when I get focused, I have ADHD, so like that, like I sort of get some of that hyper focus where like I can be like focused on one thing for really extended periods of time. Like I can be thinking about judo just continuously, but nothing else will get done.
Yeah, so the first 2 years weren't bad, and then I transferred to the bigger university, and that's where I started encountering kind of what people say how you can't do a high level sport and get a degree, because it is set up to fail. Like most of my teachers, okay, not most of them, but I would say a good half was like, oh, judo's not university related, so you can't go. And I was like, well, I'm still gonna go, but like whether you like it or not.
Kyle was just like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
telling you I'm going. I'm not asking you for permission.
Yeah. Like honestly, I didn't ask for permission. Like I was like, I want to type out like I didn't ask for your permission so many times. But that made it a little harder. at first, but I usually am pretty good with time management. So that helped me a lot as well. And obviously the support of my dad helping me plan out everything um, helped a lot too. Whereas now, I wouldn't say it was a blessing, but like not having competitions right now really helped me get into a rhythm that I need for this program.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
Are you
and
planning on doing next quad?
it's gonna be a lot harder than it was before. So obviously training camps are not gonna be that easy to go to just because I also have to be present in class. So I have to do all my offline coursework. I still have to practice. Um, and with the time zone difference, that's going to be a little hard. So I definitely have to cut down um, on the amount of trips I do. Um,
So have to be more precise trips, just like
yeah, more precise, more planned out. Um, Also destination wise, because obviously I wouldn't go to a country where I don't have internet. Um,
Yeah, that's a big problem when
uh,
you're traveling. The internet is
yeah, that's just like I wouldn't be able to go to China, for example, because they literally block everything. Um,
VPNs are extremely slow.
yeah, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. When I flew to the Chinese airport, I was like, "Why isn't Facebook working?"
oh
It
yeah,
took
oh yeah,
me
it takes like 20 minutes to load.
it took me 2 hours to figure out. It's like, oh, I'm in China.
Yeah, so I just really my focus has always been having a plan after judo
hmm
because I feel like that's very neglected sometimes. Like
I
you're so
think
focused on sports, and once you're done, what now? You know?
Yeah, that's a pretty huge problem with that you hear of like elite athletes, well, people a lot more successful than us who kind of reach the end of their career and are just like, huh, well, what now?
I
what's
mean,
your degree, like your doctorate? How long
it's
is
it's gonna be 3 years,
it?
so I'll be finishing 2023.
They need to make a year run to the Olympics, man.
I need to make a year at full straight on year, like competition after competition.
That's what I did, and it didn't work.
Yeah,
It's really hard.
it was really a tough decision. Um, make like either judo or school, but I'm just gonna do my best and figure out how to make both work. Maybe
I
not
feel
at the
like
previous level, but
I feel like when you're competing like for America, because judo is just not that big of a sport in America, you kind of have to pick the uh, the academic route.
yeah, otherwise you don't have anything after.
Yeah, like there's not, the likelihood that you can like become a coach or something is
Yeah, there's always the possibility of coaching and like working with sponsors, whatever, but I just feel like that's not that's not a life. It's
that
not
you
gonna be for life, you know? So
yeah,
you gotta have something in the background.
yeah, and being a PT is a pretty good job.
I mean, I could still do like travel with judo after if I decide
Yeah.
to do that, but
I'd love to have you as PT because
You could be the team physio.
physio. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then also for my education, so I graduated in June 2019. I made a pretty Hail Mary run for the 2020 Olympics and proceeded to do every single competition. It didn't work, but it was a pretty good experience. And I'd say it was nice to like just focus on judo for once after, kind of neglecting it for 4 years. But now I'm going to be starting a master's at King's College, which is, again, one of the best universities. It's one of the best universities in London. And so it's pretty world renowned. So I don't know how tough it's going to be. It starts tomorrow. I after this, I'm going to be looking at a lot of stuff of what I've stuff I've neglected, emails I should have read, trying to figure out like what I have to do. But right now it's mostly online because of the current situation, which is nice, even though I live like a 30-minute walk from the university. But like what I'm doing right now is I need to do like 8 courses, and I'm doing it part-time. So I need to do 8 courses overall. So I'm signed up to do 5 this year. And depending on when the competitions actually come, I might add another course. So I do 6 this year. And so next year I only have to do 2.
And that's the whole program?
Then you have a thesis.
Oh, which is going to take time.
Yeah, usually the master's is 1 year, and you have the first 2 terms are teaching terms, and then you have the third term being the exam term.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get like a lot of my classes out of the way this year when there's not many competitions, so that I'm able to do a lot more training and stuff next year. But I'm hoping to actually have some sort of concept of balance this time, because I feel like when you do, so you guys never like had the dorm experience, but I feel like when you actually are living with the dorms, you're living around other people who aren't really athletes, they're pretty much nerds. They are. I mean, at U Chicago, they are. Or you're, hanging around like frat bro, like student athletes. Like, it's just a lot harder to stay focused, I think. Like, you're like how you're like with Liam and Chantal, like, if you just like stop training for a bit, like, they're gonna notice. Like, I stopped training for a bit, like, no one cares. Like, this is just what everyone else is doing. So I think hopefully I'll be living at home, obviously to save money. I'm hoping that will like allow me to be a lot more organized, and also be able to hold myself a lot more accountable because I'm still at home. Whereas when you're at college, you don't really have anyone holding you accountable, and that sort of, after a few years, that sort of catches up on you.
Doing your own thing.
Yeah. Geronimo, what are you? So what is your plan after college? What year are you in college?
This is my 3rd semester.
You're a freshman?
I'm a sophomore.
Oh, right, semester. Sorry.
Yeah.
Quarters.
I graduated high school the same year you, and I think Kyle graduated your bachelor degree.
Yeah.
Wait, last year?
2019, I graduated.
Yeah, I graduated in December.
Yep. I graduated.
You're a little baby.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, me and Liam are the youngest here. You guys are just old. That's what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm actually starting to feel old.
No, but this is my 3rd semester. My first 2 semesters, it didn't go very well. First semester, I went to Morocco for Junior Worlds, and after Morocco, just. And then in my second semester, I started well. I was going well. I got in there, and I just said, this is the change. I'm gonna start changing now. And then I had the opportunity to go to Paris. I went to Paris, forgot about school, and so now I'm really taking this time to pay attention. I have almost all A's, so far.
Well done.
So
I feel like a big problem for us is that it's the travel, but also like the training we have at home is not really it's not like that great. Like, I don't want to like, I'm saying that like for us to get really good training, we have to travel, whereas most people are at it, like they can stay home sort of like. And I know a lot of countries have university systems that really help their athletes. I know a couple, at least one guy who's ranked like #1 in the world, I think, at the moment, who's been doing an undergraduate degree in chemistry, but because of the way his university is it's one of the sciences, and the way his university is, it's allowing him to train. And so like when he's doing competition season, he doesn't really have to go to university, but it's like it's going to take him about 6 years to graduate.
That's still not bad.
Yeah. No, it's like 6 to 8 years to graduate for him, but like he's number one in the world.
They do.
Whereas like in America, I feel like you don't get many universities that are willing to help you out that much. LA, so when are you going to graduate?
What's up, people?
LA, do you think we can see your beautiful face?
Yeah, here we go. So I had to check something.
Yeah.
You got an Android. You gotta cut him some slack.
It's an iPad. Fuck off.
So LA, how's your education going? 'Cause you're probably doing the complete opposite of what I did, where I went to on campus, 4-year degree. What are you doing?
Pretty much nothing. So I was at San Jose, and I was actually like pretty close. I'm basically a year off in terms of units from graduating, but in 2017, after the fall semester, I took a leave of absence. I started traveling a lot more. At that point, I was going to Colorado, and then just trying to do a lot more international stuff. So I just basically made the decision that I was going to put that on hold because I felt like I was like way far behind in terms of just like judo skill level, competing on an international level. I wasn't, getting that type of coaching or, seeing the type of camps, just doing what I needed to do. So I felt like I was in a little catch-up mode. And if I did want to get to the level that I wanted to be at, I'd have to sacrifice that. So now, though, I mean, it's kind of like the perfect time with a lot of online stuff happening and stuff like that. It's just been complicated. I've been emailing, and I have to call some of my advisors that are in San Jose just to kind of get that restarted going and see if they have the opportunity to finish on an online setting or kind of what I want to do from there, because I do want to finish. Would be nice to have a degree.
Yeah.
I don't want to be just a judoka.
Just a judoka? What are you talking about? Being a judo player is a well-respected profession in our world.
In our world, yes.
In America, you walk into a store, they have a veterans discount, and then they have a judoka discount.
Mm.
Oh, really? I've been missing these stores.
Yeah, haven't
At
tried.
the same,
haven't
and
tried
at the
that
same
out.
time, they ask you if judo is the one where you kick and punch people.
Yeah. Oh, judo chop. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Like that Cobra Kai thing, right?
I'm not gonna mess with you, man.
And what major are you doing?
Kinesiology. Oh yeah. So, but that was also the thing that it kind of I don't want to say messed me up, but when I first so I was senior in high school, I pretty much knew I was going to go to San Jose, and they had it was actually like a 5-year occupational therapy program where you could get your master's. And I was interested in that and was looking forward. And then as soon as I got there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we disbanded that program." So
that's tough.
So then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of reevaluating, and then I was like, okay. I mean, the first 2 years you're kind of getting your GEs out the way and like general courses, so I wasn't too worried. Still kind of following somewhat of a guideline of like training, athletic training, and stuff like that. But then I took this one class. It was like sports management and marketing, I really liked it. I had a really good professor, and that's kind of I was actually kind of like changing my emphasis. So at San, I don't know about how it is at other places, but at San Jose you have kinesiology, and then you have like there's like 8 different emphasis that you can go into. So I had to change my emphasis. I wanted to do more of like a sports marketing, sports management side of it. It's even more of like a business side. So I kind of changed that my junior year, third year there. So it wasn't too bad, just a couple different classes I had to take, but it did end up, kind of prolonging the process for me.
And what are you planning to do after you get your degree? Are you gonna? I don't know if you've made up the decision, but are you going for the next quad as well?
I mean, I would say right now I would want to.
Yeah.
I mean, the way everything's
Obviously, it's
going now,
4
we
years
don't know
is a
what's.
long time.
Yeah, yeah, and then after next year it'd be 3 years. So
Yeah.
it's just a weird time. I'm kind of just trying to I guess stay in the moment while still planning ahead. Um, but like I said, it's good. A lot of people like to see that you have that paper. Even if with any job, anything, you have a lot more credibility when you go in with the paper than if you don't.
Yeah. Do you have any specific ideas for jobs you want, or?
Not really, to be honest. That's another thing I wish I could have done at least 1 or 2 internships to kind of see, and then that's the other thing. I mean, you never know, what's going to come up. I'm sure opportunities come up. Different opportunities come up if you make the Olympics or if you don't. If you do well at the Olympics, stuff like that. You just meet people. You network, and networking is a big thing too. So, I just keep my options available right now.
Yeah, because a lot of my ideas for like businesses or whatever really rely on winning the Olympics. And so like if I don't, then my life is kind of screwed. Like if I get silver, like that's just not good enough. Like I need to win.
That's just not acceptable.
Like who's gonna listen? Who's gonna listen to an Olympic silver medalist? Like
That's why you have to say Olympic medalist. You don't say what place.
yeah, but then they're gonna ask, and then you're gonna have to say you got silver, and you're just like, well, get out of my office.
Are you kidding me?
Like yeah, I don't really have any specific real job in mind.
Yeah.
Like one idea I've had is to after my master's, I do a teaching certification, which is 1 year in this country, and you do get like 25K tax free to do it, I think, or maybe 20K. And so like that's like a good deal to do it. Like teaching qualification isn't that hard. Like I know how to teach. And so like that's a pretty good idea, and you get money.
Master's is in
What?
Master's is in math.
Yeah, my master's is in mathematics, and I'm going to be doing I'm focusing on mostly algebra, that most of my courses are optional.
You're going to be a professional counter.
No, I'm not doing number theory. But, don't ask me to count. Although I could do algebraic number theory, which I actually will be doing. But yeah, I don't really know what I feel like a teaching job you could if you teach at high school, I feel like you can balance that with training and travel somewhat because it's a large holiday. But like I wouldn't want to make a career out of it. And
yeah, I hear high school kids are rough these days.
Yeah, like it might break my confidence a bit too much. You come back from a tournament going like 0-1 and you just get roasted.
Professor Jayne, how was that tournament you went to?
Huh? You suck!
You suck!
Can't even give them attention. Go to the principal and he just like says the same thing. Like, oh.
You missed class for this?
Yeah, you may. Yeah, I'd like.
I don't want to hear about this judo nonsense anymore.
Hey, fellas, it's my mom's birthday. I gotta
All right. All right, see ya.
Happy birthday to Mom Dukes.
Yeah, say happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
I'll see you later, LA. I'll see you.
Yes, sir.
Or John, Kyle, good luck on your.
Keep the sheets warm.
Later.
That's it.
So let me ask you, what would you say is like a perfect scenario for balancing like school or work with judo? I imagine living in America doesn't help.
No, because I don't know. For me, so when I was working, I was fortunate enough to work for a company that really gave me the opportunity and the time off that I needed when I had to travel. So like let's say for Morocco and Russia, they actually gave me 2 weeks off. When the standard is you get like a couple of days off max. So that really helped me out. Now I imagine that my teachers just like if I don't go to class, they're just like academic probation. You're out.
Yeah, you seem like you're in a pretty tough situation because at least
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of planning.
yeah, at least I know like math professors are either very nice or completely indifferent, and they just let you do. They're like, okay, you like don't show up, like I'm still gonna still gonna grade you the same.
Yeah.
Like or he's just like just come to office hours more. Like
Yeah.
just like I don't. He's just like I don't care enough about you to like give you any advice.
Yeah, for me, it's just like the teachers are really nice, and I'm sure if they could, they would. But
Yeah.
basically, what the higher ups would say is like, you know what you signed up for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you got to find a way to work around it.
So let's say like I feel like a good scenario would be if we could have like a place to train that was close to us that's like really high quality. But I feel like having to travel just makes it almost impossible to have any real perfect schedule.
Yeah, that's the key. Especially down here, because everything is at least 30 minutes away.
Oh yeah, your guys are in Texas, so have ruins.
But and then when you think about it, in that like 30 to 40 to 50 minutes, it doesn't seem like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, like you said, that time management, that having that time is
Yeah.
it kind of is a lot when you add it up. That's like 45 minutes that you could be studying, or you could be relaxing to go train before you have to train and get a good training session in or something like that. So that kind of stuff does add up.
And I think one of like the toughest things for athletes, especially judo players, is like managing stress levels. Because even if you are, able to actually be good at time management, like to be able to train well, you need to be pretty relaxed to be good at judo. Like and like stress will build up and like affect your sleep. I think that's one of the hardest things to do is to be able to like keep a sleep schedule, keep your stress down, and then be able to train while having to deal with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Or even showing up at tournaments, I feel like especially the American athlete. I know other countries have, their own problems and stuff, but most of the time you're finding a way to get there yourself. you're managing the funds yourself. The training, you're managing yourself. You show up. Sometimes you have to get your own accreditation. You have to find your food. Sometimes you show up, you're coaching yourself. You know, it's pretty much, you versus you. So I feel like that's one thing. I mean, at least a lot of other countries, they have, coaches. You can lean on your coach. Okay, they're going to take care of this for me. All I have to do is relax. All I have to worry about is making weight and fighting well.
Oh yeah, I feel like I do a lot better when we actually do have a coaching team with us. Because I don't know, like my growing up with competitions was always to have. Because when I was on the British team for cadets, like the coaches would do a lot of the stuff for you. Because I mean, we were a bunch of kids, so I just got kind of used to that. And so when I went to the American team and I was like doing everything by myself, I was like, wow, this is stressful. But another thing I've tried since like there's not great, I mean there's some pretty decent judo clubs in London, and there's some good training, but like for me Camberley is like an hour and a half away drive, which obviously that's like a good 5 hours out of the day. Pretty much your day ends at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
You have to go travel. I've been looking at there's a MMA gym in London, at least, called London Shoe Fighters, which is pretty decent. They have like wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And I've just thought about like, instead of like, I could cross train with wrestling and jiu-jitsu to at least get some sort of, some sort of like grappling as a way to like, just like get some form of training in.
For sure.
But I don't know if you guys ever thought about like cross training, if there's some, in order to like just because if you can like get some wrestling in, it would at least get some sort of experience of like fighting, which would help you in judo, and at least get you to like do some sort of like fighting, and just increase the amount of time you're on the mat. I don't know if you've ever thought about that.
I've actually been. Go ahead, Kyle.
Okay, so I never really thought about wrestling. I was thinking about like BJJ a little bit.
There's some decent BJJ gyms in Austin, I think.
Oh yeah. There's so many options. We're actually teaching judo at one of them, and yeah, I mean, if I found the time right now, I would definitely cross train, but it's just hard right now.
I mean, for me, as I've been doing a lot of cross training, BJJ, always, no matter where I am, I try to find a jiu-jitsu place. I feel like that's helped me a lot. Wrestling, I've done wrestling for 1.5 years now, as sort of a side training method. Like you said, it's good to get those different exposures, just time on the mat.
I think you also can find, at least in America, I think you can find like higher quality jiu-jitsu players and wrestlers.
Than judo players.
So at least you're fighting someone who has like a pretty high fighting IQ, and
exactly.
And I think at least that will help a lot when you actually have to go back and fight judo players. Like at least your fight IQ will be pretty ready.
Yeah, for sure. And then, because that's it. When I come back, and then, I mean, when everything was normal, that's kind of what I was using is, all right, when I travel, when I go to Europe and Asia and whatever, obviously that's my judo time. And I'm going to take advantage of all the judo I can with the camps and stuff like that. When I come back to the States, I'm not so much focused on the judo. I do a lot of technical stuff, but it's a lot. I try to do a lot more strength and conditioning, and then like, you know, different areas, BJJ, strengthening my newaza, wrestling, you know, just different positions, holding in a different way because you can't grab anything. You're
Yeah.
grabbing somebody's sweaty ass skin.
Also, it helps you fight Eastern people.
Exactly. You know, with pickups and stuff like that. And doing Greco, I found has helped a lot. You know, Greco is
Yeah.
closer to judo than I would say freestyle, but you know, just different styles, different looks. I think it's good to change up. It's not always good to do the same things over and over again sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I need to, you know, I'm still, you know, looking to find some wrestling and jiu-jitsu in London. I know the jiu-jitsu clubs are actually pretty high quality. I don't know about wrestling because England's not that great at wrestling. But you know, at least if you're wrestling some MMA players, at least they're driven. I feel like, you know, you're wrestling some people who actually fight. So, you know, at least build up some mental toughness. But I'll have to report back of whenever I actually do try out some wrestling places again.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be kind of cool to be able to cross train a lot more and get more time on the mat, because the amount I do like randori like twice a week. When I was like last year, I was basically doing randori only twice a week, and then going to compete in a Grand Prix or Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't even getting much technical work in at all. In fact, I did pretty much zero technical work in the last year just because of a lack of places to do technical work. And so I was showing up so like all my techniques just came from trying it again and again during training camps. Which
all those sumis.
yeah, people did not like that. When I was trying out like techniques for the first time in training camps, I was trying to build up that sode. You know, the duck under sode.
Oh yeah.
It's coming along. I'm telling you.
Oh snap!
Like, I think with my increased strength, if I can get under someone, like they're getting thrown. So you guys mostly work technical work and then
Yeah, it's not much for Ndori right now.
Yeah, and school. Yeah, so I guess we came to the conclusion that it's pretty hard to balance school and judo,
Certainly
which
is.
I imagine is kind of disappointing for people to hear. Because I'm like, yeah, I really couldn't balance anything in university, and I'm hoping by doing part-time that I can balance things better. And then LA, you just took a leave of absence.
Yeah. It's like,
and then Kyle's like, well, it's really tough. And Geronimo as well is struggling. I'm hoping the Shadi and Mohab will be free again, and we can ask them, see how things go for them, and we might revisit this topic again. But I think we'll end things there. Hopefully when we do ask Mohab and Shadi to have more, answers that make us happier, more promising. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening, and also thanks to Eric Schuyler for the topic. If there's any topics that you want us to hear some current judoka talk about, leave a comment and so on. But anyway, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.